Okay, good morning, everyone. Let's rise, call the meeting to order and rise to the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're here for our reorg meeting. We're going to have an appointment of Clerk Pro Temp. To resolve, the Board of Education appoints Heather Welch as Clerk Pro Temp to preside until the election and seating of the Board President. Motion, please. Motion by Mike, second by Ed. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Now we'll do the election of board officers. I'll go through Ed, Mike, and Jen. Swear yous in, and then we can continue. So we'll do Ed first. Ed, could you rise? Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
And the Constitution of the State of New York.
and the Constitution of the State of New York.
And I will faithfully discharge the duties of my position as board member
And I will faithfully discharge my duties as board member
for the Highland Central School District according to the best of my ability.
To the best of my abilities.
You're in. You get a chance to sign and date that.
July 1st. Woohoo! Huh?
You get a full 3-year term.
There we go. That's full.
Jen, raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my position as board member for the Highland Central School District
and I will faithfully discharge my duties as a board member of the Highland Central School District
according to the best of my abilities.
according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mike? I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my position as board member
and that I will faithfully discharge my duties as a board member
for the Highland Central School District according to the best of my abilities.
of the Highland Central School District according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now we have a full board. Just want to say congratulations to all our newly elected board members and a successful 3-year term as board members. And we got the wind in our backs. Okay, I guess in the absence of our clerk, Lisa Siniglia, I'll be able to call for nominations for board officers for the 24-25 school year. So I'll ask for nominations from the board for the office of president. Nominate Al Barone.
Second that.
Have a second. Any other nominations? Okay. We'll do the oaths after. I'll call for nominations for vice president. I'll nominate Tom Miller.
I second.
The other nominations for vice president? All right. We have a president and we have a vice president. Congratulations to everyone.
No, normally we just do the oaths, but this will do those.
Yeah, we'll do the oath. I just want to say thank you for the board supporting me for another term as president. I think this year is going to be a challenging year. We went through a challenging budget cycle last year, and I think this year is going to be as challenging as it was then. And we have our capital project that we're looking to complete by the end of our summer of 25. I think we're going to have a lot of activities going on and be able to present to the community that they supported the new athletic facility. It should be pretty much completed by the fall this year. That's good news. All right, we're here for our reorg meeting. Reorg meeting is fairly simple. If you can see, we have the consent from 6 to 11P. There are some add-ons as we go, so just take a moment to review. I'm sure you have a couple of the add-ons. I know under committees, we need another committee member for HTA negotiations, and Janine has stepped forward to serve on that committee. And we need another member for the HSA, and I was going to ask if Ed would like to serve on HSA.
Sure.
I don't think there's any conflicts there, so.
Yeah.
Good. All right, so that's a couple of add-ons. Anyone else see anything glaring that you want to amend or change, or not want to switch committees or anything like that? I think our superintendent has gone through with committee selections with everyone in the last several months. I think we're good there. Everybody good? Okay. Need a motion to for consent agenda for our appointments for the 24-25 school year. Motion made by Janine. Can I have a second? Heather? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Very quick reorg meeting.
Just a question with the school attorney. We just selected them as the attorney for the district. Does that include the new contract that we were talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually approved their contract May.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we'll move right into our regular meeting. We already did our pledge. Beginning of the regular meeting is the code of conduct, public hearing.
So as far as the code of conduct, it's pretty much stays the same as it did in the previous year. There's a couple of minor changes that we've added through legal. So that is in the document that we're putting forward this evening, or this morning. This evening, I'm like, it's habit now. So if anyone has any questions about those, we have Bill and Kevin are here. Kevin was part of doing some of that language change when he was an AP, and then as principal, he was in conversations with the APs as we brought some of the language changes. Does not change anything about cell phones at this point. So that's not addressed in this. I mean, there's still the regular discipline that was there before, but there's been no change until we have an action from the board or trumped by the governor, because the governor may be putting something in place, and then we would revise the code of conduct as needed.
Question real quick. Are we recording right now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I didn't see it get turned on.
Yeah, I walked over and turned it on.
All right.
Yep.
Anybody have any questions, concerns regarding the code of conduct?
No, just that the public is invited to comment or ask questions during this open public period. It's about 30 some odd days, and we're supposed, if there are any changes or updates in that period, we just announce it at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Look pretty good.
Okay, I don't think we have any comments from the public regarding the code of conduct. All right, resolution, be it resolved, the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approves the code of conduct policy for the 2024-2025 school year as presented at this meeting during public hearing. Can I have a motion, please? Motion by Ed, second by Heather. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Now we'll open the meeting up to public comment. Okay, we'll close public comment. We'll go into our consent items. Take our consent items, EA1 to D. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept our consent items and then we'll go into any question. Motion made by Mike, second by Tom.
This includes the change orders, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Number 7. C7, actually.
All right.
Yeah, some of those are sizable. We're well under our change order contingency amount. Right.
Yeah, you could see that some are change orders and some are what they call the allowance disbursement. Built into each contract for all our phases is an allowance.
Right.
So they draw out of that allowance. If they exceed that allowance, then it goes to change order.
I got you.
Some of the change orders are state contracts, I believe. Am I correct with that, Peter? Field turf is a state contract, so
Yeah,
they
all
don't have an
those are
allowance
going through
built
the
in,
process.
so it's called a change order for them.
Another question on these, the fact that we didn't do the boilers, did that allow greater allowances within the capital project? Or that money just got absorbed
No,
into
it
other
just got
work?
absorbed into every
All right.
contract.
Thank you.
The one, just explain real quick, I'm sure you've seen our Friday update from Joel regarding our decision on the athletic field on the sidewalk in front of the bleachers. That's no longer to be blacktop. It wasn't part of the original contract, but now we're pulling that out, making that all concrete sidewalk from the south end of the bleachers right up to where, I guess, where the ambulance station normally is
Right.
during a football game. So
Nice.
that'll all be concrete. So it'll marry into the track blacktop perfectly. Won't be any roller coaster, and we'll eliminate that curb and the trip hazard coming down the ramp by the bleachers.
Just to be clear, though, that you're talking about now is not part of the change orders that are on this resolution. That will be a future change order once all of those costs get vetted.
Is there a retention pond for drainage on this particular field?
Field is a retention pond.
Right.
But there's a perimeter drain where it dumps into. It's tying into
It
the
dumps into the
existing.
field.
Yeah.
And then it's metered out of the field.
Okay.
And one of the things with the removing of the asphalt on the southwest corner of the field, they will they'll grade that so that there's a swale to help some of that water drain away
Help
from.
drain it where
Yeah.
we
Coming down off the hill.
Gotcha.
But no necessary, like not like this out here,
Yes.
a catch basin,
Okay.
like a hole that you'll see the water come
Okay.
into.
Joe, at that south end of the stands on that new concrete path, there will be a gate built into the fencing.
Not at this
No.
point.
As
No.
an exit,
No, it'll just be open.
it's gonna be open.
Yeah,
Right,
we
that's what I
had
meant.
talked about in support services,
Right.
if you remember, that in the future, we could put a gate there, but we also felt that it was not something that we could just put fencing along that sidewalk, because if we ever had to have a mass exodus from the stadium, we need 2 ways to get out.
That was the direction I was leaning in.
Yeah.
But as long as the gate is not.
The gate is not part of any
We'll
of
leave it
the,
open.
right, that'll be future conversations.
Just another point of egress out of that area.
One of the change orders was related to shot, like a clock for the practice turf field. Is that right?
No,
No.
the shot clocks or game clocks that are going on the main field
Okay.
are for football and lacrosse.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I thought it was the other one. I was like, we anticipate playing games over there?
Yeah,
That
no.
makes sense.
Good question, though. Was there something that made, that wasn't clear?
I thought it said practice turf field, and that's what made me think of it.
No.
I could have been misreading, so.
We'll have to look at that, make sure that it doesn't say practice field.
It's fine, it's probably me.
The intent was not practice field, so if it doesn't and we have to revise something,
Okay.
just we have it on record that we're in agreement, not yet, agreement yet, but that it's not that, but if it says that, we'll make sure that that's corrected.
All right, any other questions? Okay, we have a motion on the floor from
Mike and Tom.
Mike and Tom. No further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Just a quick thank you to Highland Hose Company for their $500 donation to the middle school band, and to the Highland Educational Foundation for their donation of $9,000 to support the bottle filling stations. Okay. All right. Go on to our superintendent's comments.
I have nothing new to send other than what I put in my update. I was actually going to mention the field and the taking of the asphalt out along the sidewalks. So that is just exciting that will be coming. Just a couple of things. We accepted a resignation from, or retirement from Frank Sammartano, so one of the security guards within our system. So that's, now we're down 2. So we actually, I know I put this in my update, but it's good for the community to know, we are going to fill those positions. They're in the process of vetting those candidates now. We may need a board meeting. We have a tentative date of July 23rd. If we have to change that because of availability of folks, we will. But that would really only be for the purpose of hiring security. We hear there may be a position or two that is popping up in this week. And so if we can get those done, we would get those in. And so for hiring, and then if we can get the change order from Palumbo for the field, we would do that on the 23rd. So if you can get back to me, there won't be a Friday update this week or next, but if you can get back to me if you're available on the 23rd. If not, then we just need a quorum for that. I can look to get another meeting, but I'd like to get those folks hired as soon as possible. The other position is the program secretary, which is our registrar and our athletic director secretary. That's a combination position. I put this in the update over the weekend. We're working through the civil service list right now. It's a unique position, so some folks, as the position is being described to them, they're like, yeah, that's not something that I'm interested in. But we might have some internal candidates that have not sat for the program secretary test yet that might be available and willing to make that move. So we're going to have somebody. It's just a matter of, are they from the civil service list, or do we exhaust that list? It's unenforceable, and then we can hire someone that's not on the list, and then they'll take the test in the future.
Right, so
But our goal is to try to get somebody in there before Elizabeth vacates in August, so that there can be some cross training, because there's a lot of nuances to using the registration system.
right, so that's why we just reappointed her in reorg, but she's only going to serve.
Correct. So Elizabeth is appointed for a few positions here. As soon as she leaves, we'll have to have somebody else appointed to those positions. Okay. That's really all I have.
Any questions for the superintendent? Okay, under Board of Education, new business. I know we spoke about having a retreat last school year and it never came to fruition. Definitely do a board retreat. I'll try to schedule something for September. I think we have to review our board goals. We haven't done that in quite a while. And we'll pick a date and we'll find a venue close by, and we'll have the board retreat in September once everybody's back into full swing of this new school year. Anyone else have anything for new business? Okay, old business. Again, we put the cell phone policy discussion on here. I think we have to continue that, even though, you know, we're hearing more and more that the governor is going to propose some type of legislation before the end of the fiscal year for cell phones in school districts. So we got to continue our conversation along those lines and see if we can come up with a policy that's, you know.
Well, there is a next step. The policy drafts that we left off at the policy committee level can be forwarded to legal for the crafting of a draft policy that we would go. You know, I included some terms and things like that, but that could be cleaned up. And then in August, potentially, we would have a draft policy to discuss and potentially, you know, move forward on. The movement towards cell phone bans just continues. You know, I've been kind of following the literature, and that's picking up.
Yeah,
it's not going away, and I don't expect it to.
So we'll do that. Everybody okay? We'll move it forward to legal for their
they've got enough
and how they can craft the language that we can support, and then we'll use that as a base to continue discussion in August.
Would you mind just forwarding me again
Sure.
the final where we ended, because I know there were multiple copies. I just don't want to send the wrong thing.
You got it.
I want to be very cognizant of how much we're using legal.
I was gonna say,
We've got a brand new retainer, so we're good for now. I want to be
What is the speculation
purposeful
on the governor's?
She hasn't really divulged that yet, and I know that the talk is that she's proposing a policy. Now, I don't know.
She was also talking social media too.
Yeah.
So
Right now she's
been talking about social media.
A lot of the conversation has been focused on protecting youth from social media sites.
Yeah.
It's not so far as banning cell phones, but taking on those social media companies and we know that there's multi-million dollar lawsuits being paid out because of some of these things.
right.
We expect that after that conversation concludes, then she'll start taking a look at cell phone use in schools. But
I'm just thinking that before we actually push it through to legal and utilize part of that retainer, that we have another gathering to focus in. I mean, obviously,
this is not the type of work that ate up the retainer, guys.
No, this isn't.
But have we gone to that focus? I know in our in the language we had focused specifically on media sites, but of course, there's really no way to regulate them here in the school without regulating. So.
I don't think if we have legal developed a policy, that we don't have to initially move it forward to a first or second reading. I mean, we use it just for our use to kind
Different
of
stages of
discuss
development.
and then, move it from there. I don't think it's going to be a point, Ed, where we're going to bring it to a first reading or a second reading and adopt it. I think there's going to be quite a bit of conversation with all the stakeholders involved in it. So I think it's just another step in kind of developing.
No, I understand that. I know it's not where all the retainer got eaten up, but I just at this point it seems like it's redundant because we're going to be going back.
We're also going to be utilizing legal for some training this summer. So I mean, when we have them here, when there's some downtime in there, it's always good to get some extra questions in. So there's ways to work things in to get double duty out of that.
I think that the question is, how does the policy handle what we see as acceptable in the classroom?
Yep.
School district issued device versus the use of the personal cell phone and creating, expectations that they're not to be used in instructional spaces. And then, kind of doing that balance of not to be used in instructional spaces, but there is times during the day where use is acceptable, and they'll kind of
And
walk that fine line for us,
When we come
or
back.
pose us with a bunch of questions.
so when we come back, I think that's the discussion we want to continue with the body as well, because I think that's where we left it off, was that we wanted to be able to hear the community concern within the school. And I think we have to go back and address that and explain that it's not a punitive, it's an educational issue. Yeah. All right.
And I'm sure legal's working this avenue with other school districts, and I'm sure other school districts are on board with developing or further developing whatever policies they have in place. So I'm sure they're going to give us some insight into it.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody's good on that? And then we'll move to anything miscellaneous, anything for the good and welfare of the district.
No, just under open miscellaneous, I had a question. Are we still on track to get into our middle school over the summer?
Yes.
Okay.
Why are you shaking your head?
I'm
No,
just kidding.
don't do that. We actually, we had a meeting there on Friday with NYSER, the insurance reps, and there's not a whiff of smoke any longer in that building. So I hadn't been there in a couple of weeks. I was absolutely amazed at how fresh it smelled.
Nice.
But beyond that, just the surfaces, the new kitchen, I don't know if they call it a lid or a hood, in the kitchen.
Oh, right. Yeah. Exhaust.
It's beautiful. Like, it's so shiny that I actually said to Pete, I said, did we have that there before? Because I didn't notice it before. But now it's a shell, so you see everything that's going in. The walk-in freezer and the kitchen line, we're hoping is going to be here first or second week in August. There might be a delay or two, but we originally thought that we weren't going to get the kitchen part open by September 1. That's looking very well like it's going to happen now.
All right. Good.
The ceilings are all being redone, rewired. The entryway and all of the stairwell ceiling tiles have been replaced. So it's coming along. Middle school administration should be moving back in there either this week or next.
Oh, that's good news.
And the first wing of the middle school is actually slated to house our summer program for the middle school. So there's no reason not to use it because that's going to be finished. So and that can be totally separated from any work that's going on in the rest of the building.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very uplifting.
Peter, phase 2, working in conjunction with the restoration of the fire damage, is all moving along, so that all should be ready to go. The fire alarm system and everything by school opening.
A lot of the fire system is ready to go as far as the penetrations are made and all that, so that's going to start getting rewired or wired in this week and moving forward. So the sound system in the gym is already in. So it's moving along.
That's great.
Vinco was working on all the railings and steps.
Renovation of the bathrooms.
The bathrooms is moving together. Plumbing's done. So it's good.
Well, we certainly commend administration, the staff, everybody involved for the heavy lift that it was, and making it work under less than ideal conditions. Really, it was a win-win from the community's perspective.
We'll see how far along, but maybe our August meeting we can do a quick walkthrough so all the board members can get a look at
It's a good idea.
what took place and what it looked like before and after. But yeah, as Joel said, I think every wall and every ceiling tile and every floor and cabinet and drape and window treatment's been cleaned, and I mean it's not a brand new building, but it's
It's close to it.
It'll be time to get those kids back in there. So.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Basically, every room and every hallway has been repainted.
Yeah.
They ordered new stage curtains because they were a little smoke. So
Sure.
the technology stuff that we replaced is here. So once we get the classrooms to the point where we can put them in, they're also waxing all the floors. So we don't have to do that this summer, so that's a
Yeah.
big thing off of our plate that we don't have to do. Hopefully they do it to Danny Diaz's
Like
Standard.
Let me ask you this.
Well, we appreciate the effort, that's for sure.
Is it gonna be done to your standard?
Well, Danny Diaz he had glass floors
Yeah.
just before the fire, which is rare at the school, so.
Good
All the
stuff.
end-to-end testing on all the wiring and all that stuff.
Yes, they set the fire alarm off a few times, testing that stuff and sorting stuff out and things, but yes, they tested everything.
Well, it's very promising. Thank you.
Mr. Murphy, how's it feel to get your building back?
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, Don.
Make sure the middle school pays its rent before they move out, right?
Long-term, Jeff.
Yeah, but all the middle school furniture is out of here. Right now, that's at Bloomin' Lane, so that's all out so we can work on this school. Of course, we got major construction going on up here in the hallways too, so they began last week on the food service office to get that, the walls ripped out so they can prepare for abatement in there. And beginning on principal's offices today, so.
Applause, because those last weeks of school, there was just so much going on, right? The vote, the this, the that, it was just unbelievable.
How are the elementary classrooms going?
The elementary classrooms were emptied on the 200, 300 wing,
In like a day and a half.
like in a day and a half.
It was unbelievable how fast they got
right.
They've done
that
it
school
before.
emptied.
They've obviously done it before.
When there's the
Have
track
their
trailer.
It's crazy. It's like stuff you'd never think of. They coat the stairs with cardboard boxes and they slide the desks upside down.
Oh.
And stuff's flying, so.
All right, pretty good overall season, sports season, correct?
Yeah, all three of them I thought were pretty
Congrats,
good.
yeah.
The spring, we were successful and had a lot of student athletes, so yeah. it
But
was
over the
successful.
course of the whole year,
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
We've seen an improvement in
Yeah.
Highland athletics, and that's
Yeah.
good to see.
And we worked it through with obviously construction and everything else, and with the middle school, we were able to get through all that, so it was successful.
Thank you.
Peter, getting back, lockers are going this summer, new lockers this summer, are they 25?
Soon as,
Soon as this
the
meeting's
abatement's
over.
over, the lockers go.
It's July 23rd, when we walk in here, there'll be new lockers.
Very
When we
likely.
walk back in here on July 23rd, there'll be new lockers.
Not true. They're called for like 3 days to install the
Good.
lockers.
All right. Trying to continue the conversation, so I said we'll be past 7:30. I mean, otherwise we'd have
We made it now.
a record reorg and regular meeting. Anybody else have anything for miscellaneous?
I just want to add that the high school graduation was wonderful, so thank you. I know that that's a huge effort and push, so thank you, Peter, for everything that you did. I think it was wonderful. I think it was a beautiful night. Yes, it was a little hot, but hey, you're gonna have that whether you had it on the football field or you had it in the outfield of the baseball, and I just want to say thank you. I know a lot of community members were very pleased and were very happy with the graduation, so thank you.
I echo Janine's sentiment as both a parent and a community member of the graduating class. I was very, very pleased, so thank you for everyone's efforts.
We're thinking of planning on doing it on the baseball field every year so that it's warmer.
Yes, the sun in their eyes
You
was
don't
perfect.
realize just how fast it cools off. Typically, when we do it at 7 o'clock at night, and the sun drops behind the mountains, that
Yeah.
the field cools off.
It was a great night.
That was a joke for the community. It's going to be on the football field. Want it very clear before the phones start ringing. No, we're moving it back to the field.
It was warm.
It was.
It was.
The nice part about the football field is the lights can be turned on at the very beginning, and so if it does get darker, the lights are already lighting it and you don't even realize it. But for those parents that have students at the end of the alphabet, their pictures, when you don't turn the lights on, don't come out as good as those that are at the beginning of the alphabet. So when we moved it by a half an hour, whatever, I think it was a half an hour, it really was so that everyone got not the sun in their faces, but that they
Proper
got
lighting.
the same treatment. It's an equity thing, I
And
think.
actually, we're work position. That's a good thing when they moved it a little bit earlier.
And finally, I want to welcome our new district business official, Desmond. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
Just remember that our meetings are never this short, so in the future, you
Or
can
this
spend some,
early.
you can spend some time here with us. So congratulations and welcome. All right, I guess we're ready to wrap it up. We'll open it up to public comment. Where's Mary Ann? Too early in the morning for Mary Ann? She's usually here.
Probably traveling Europe right now.
Oh, all right.
She's
good for
working.
her.
Taking care of business.
Okay.
Another day at the office.
We'll close public comment and I'll ask a motion to adjourn. Motion by Heather, second by Janine. All those in favor?
Bye.
Opposed? Thank you, everyone, and enjoy your summer.
Yeah, I won't be available in